You were taught that safety comes from systems. Call 911 and help arrives. The government has a plan. The grid always comes back on. Your insurance covers it. Someone is in charge and they know what to do. These are not facts. They are assumptions, baked into you by decades of living in a functioning society, that have never been tested by the one thing that tests everything: a real crisis. Today I'm going to walk through the biggest safety lies most people still believe, and what the truth actually looks like, so you can build something real in its place. The first and most dangerous lie: 911 will save you. Let's be precise about what 911 actually is. 911 is a dispatch system. It connects you to a call center that contacts emergency services. Emergency services then travel to your location. In a normal day, in a non-crisis environment, in a well-funded urban area, average response times run between 7 and 12 minutes for a priority call. 7 to 12 minutes is a very long time when something is actively happening to you. But that is the best case. In a crisis scenario, a natural disaster, a civil unrest event, a grid-down situation, a mass casualty event, 911 becomes completely overwhelmed within minutes. Call volume spikes by thousands of %. Lines jam. Dispatchers cannot process the volume. Emergency responders are already deployed elsewhere. After Hurricane Katrina, the average wait for emergency response in affected areas was not minutes. It was days. In some areas, it never came at all. After the 2011 Joplin tornado, 911 systems were completely non-functional for hours. After multiple California wildfires, residents reported calling 911 and receiving no answer. The lie is not that 911 is useless. In normal conditions, it functions. The lie is that it will save you in the conditions where you most need saving. The truth: in any serious crisis, you are your own first responder for the first 72 hours. Minimum. That means basic medical training. That means knowing how to stop bleeding, treat burns, manage shock. That means having the supplies in your home to address medical emergencies without external help. The call you make to 911 in a crisis is a backup. Your preparation is the primary. Lie number 2. The government has a plan, and the plan will protect you. Governments do have plans. FEMA exists. Emergency management agencies exist at every level of government. Continuity of government protocols exist. Disaster response frameworks exist. What those plans are actually designed to do, and what most people assume they are designed to do, are two very different things. Government emergency plans are designed to maintain order, protect critical infrastructure, and restore system function at the macro level. They are not designed to protect you specifically. FEMA's own published guidance, on their own website, in their own language, states that individuals should be prepared to be self-sufficient for a minimum of 72 hours following any disaster. 72 hours is the official acknowledgement that government help will not arrive quickly. And 72 hours is the optimistic estimate. After Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, meaningful federal assistance to many communities took not days, but weeks and months to materialize. After the 2023 Lahaina fire in Hawaii, survivors reported waiting days for any organized response while their town burned. The government plan covers the big picture. Your household is not the big picture. Your household is one unit of millions. The truth: the government plan is for the system. Your plan is for your family. Both need to exist. Only one of them is your responsibility. Lie number 3. The grid always comes back on. Most people have experienced a power outage. The lights go out. You wait a few hours, maybe a day, and they come back. The system works. You didn't need to do anything. This experience creates a deeply embedded assumption. The grid always comes back. It doesn't. Not always. Not fast. Not everywhere. After Hurricane Maria, parts of Puerto Rico were without power for 11 months. After the 2021 Texas winter storm, a grid failure in the wealthiest country in the world, in a major state, in a modern infrastructure system, millions of people were without power in freezing conditions for days. Over 200 people died directly from that failure. In Texas, in 2021. After the 2003 Northeast blackout, 55 million people lost power simultaneously. Major cities were without function for up to 2 days. The assumption that the grid comes back within hours is based on the most common type of outage, a local, limited disruption with localized repair. It does not hold for large-scale, cascading, or deliberate failures. And in a conflict scenario, grid infrastructure is one of the first things targeted. The grid coming back in days or weeks is the optimistic outcome. The truth: every home needs a minimum of 2 weeks of grid-independent capability. Water storage, non-electric food preparation, alternative heat source, battery or solar power for essential communications, medication storage that doesn't require refrigeration. The grid will probably come back. Probably is not a survival strategy. Lie number 4 is the most psychologically powerful of all. Someone is in charge, and they know what to do. This belief is so deeply embedded in modern people that it operates below the level of conscious thought. In any emergency, the instinct to look for the authority figure, to wait for instructions, to defer to whoever seems to be in control, is almost universal. And in genuine, large-scale crises, this instinct gets people killed. Because in genuine, large-scale crises, no one is in charge. Not because of incompetence, because of the nature of complex, cascading failures. When a major disaster hits, whether natural, technological, or conflict-driven, it overwhelms every system simultaneously. Communication fails. Command structures fragment. Decision-makers are themselves responding to incomplete information. The people waiting for someone to tell them what to do are waiting for an authority that does not exist in that form. After the 2010 Haiti earthquake, international response was chaotic, uncoordinated, and frequently counterproductive. Not because nobody cared, but because complex emergencies exceed the coordinating capacity of any centralized authority. The truth: in a serious crisis, the person in charge of your survival is you. Not with arrogance, not with the belief that you can handle everything alone, with the clear-eyed acknowledgement that waiting for someone else to take charge of your family's safety is a strategy that has failed documented survivors repeatedly. You decide, you move, you act. Then you coordinate with community, in that order. Lie number 5. Your insurance will make you whole after a crisis. Insurance exists. It functions. In normal loss scenarios, a house fire, a car accident, a burst pipe, it performs roughly as designed. In a large-scale crisis event, a major natural disaster, a civil conflict, a grid failure affecting entire regions, insurance systems break down in documented, predictable ways. Claim volumes exceed processing capacity. Adjusters are unavailable. Disputes arise about what is and isn't covered. Policy language that seemed clear becomes ambiguous under stress. Companies invoke act of God or force majeure clauses. After Hurricane Katrina, over 200,000 insurance claims were disputed or denied in the first year. After multiple California wildfires, insurers withdrew from entire regions rather than pay mounting claims. The deeper truth: insurance replaces money after the event. It does not replace water, food, shelter, medicine, or safety in the immediate crisis window, the 72 hours to 2 weeks when those things are most critical. The truth: insurance is recovery infrastructure. Preparation is survival infrastructure. You need both. In the first 2 weeks of any serious crisis, preparation is the only one that functions. 5 lies. 1 source. These beliefs didn't come from nowhere. They were built, not through conspiracy, but through the accumulated experience of living in an exceptionally functional society for an exceptionally long period of time. For most people reading this, the systems have worked for their entire lifetime. 911 responded. The grid came back. The government eventually helped. The insurance eventually paid. Systems that work consistently produce belief in their reliability. That belief is rational given the evidence, in normal conditions. The problem is that crisis conditions are not normal conditions, and the beliefs formed in normal conditions, carried unchanged into crisis conditions, become the exact cognitive traps that produce preventable casualties. The second source is incentive. Governments benefit from populations that believe government will protect them, because belief produces compliance and reduces the friction of governance. Insurance companies benefit from the belief that insurance is sufficient preparation because it is a product they sell. Media benefits from the belief that systems work because the alternative narrative is uncomfortable and drives audiences away. None of this is a conspiracy. It is simply the direction that incentives point. And the person who sees it clearly is not a cynic. They are simply better prepared than the person who doesn't. Real safety is not a phone call. Real safety is not a policy document. Real safety is not a network waiting to respond to you. Real safety is a condition you build, in advance, deliberately, from the inside out. It starts with medical capability. The ability to handle a medical emergency in your household without external help for 72 hours. Basic trauma training, a complete first aid kit, knowledge of the medications your household members take, and a 30-day backup supply. It extends to physical resilience. 2 weeks of water, 2 weeks of food, an alternative heat source, a power source for critical communications, a plan for staying or leaving, with both options mapped and resourced. It deepens with skills, not gear, skills. The ability to purify water, treat a wound, navigate without GPS, start a fire, build a shelter, assess a threat. Skills cannot be confiscated, inflated away, or locked behind a system that just went offline. And it anchors in community, the trusted group of people who know your situation, share your preparation philosophy, and have agreed in advance to mutual support. This is the oldest form of safety that exists, and the one that predates every system that has since replaced it. Real safety is not provided, it is built. And everyone who builds it has something that no system failure can take away. They lied to you about safety. Not with malice in most cases, with the comfortable assumption that the systems would keep working, and that the people who prepared for when they didn't were paranoid or extreme. The evidence says otherwise. Puerto Rico, Texas, Katrina, Joplin, Haiti, Lahaina. Every documented large-scale crisis event of the last 50 years tells the same story. The systems that people believed would protect them failed. And the people who survived best, the ones whose stories get told as examples of human resilience, are the ones who had built something real before the system failed. That is what this channel is about. Not fear, not paranoia. Building something real. Drop in the comments, which of these 5 lies hit hardest for you? Which one did you believe most completely before today? Subscribe and hit the bell. The next video goes deep on building real first responder capability in your own home. The first lie we dismantle in practice. Stay sharp, stay real, stay prepared.